Alive Warriors. So today we're going to talk about something very specific, and that is weight gain over the holidays. That is the final boss, right? The big boss battle for your weight loss journey, or actually maintaining weight loss, or keeping a good regimen going so that you don't gain weight. One of the major reasons why January 1st is the year or the day that people want to start to finally lose weight is because, for the most part, most people start to finally gain the weight for the year. The final kind of stretch of weight gain happens during the holiday seasons. Now let's jump over real quick to this study, and then we'll just talk over what you can do to avoid this. So here you'll see weight gain over the holidays in 3 countries, and they use the United States, Germany, and Japan in this study to see what the weight gains are. Now, these are averages, so keep in mind we have kind of slightly under 50% of people in the United States, for example, are obese. So even if you pull the average, they're going to be pulling from both directions, right? So if you, it's almost a 50-50 split, right? So don't go by the average. Do not go by the average, because that's going to show you people, as I mentioned, that that aren't overweight, that aren't obese, in comparison to those that are. So from the average, I think it has America gaining around 10 pounds from the average. But the most weight in terms of all of these studies that look at weight gain over the course of a year, the most weight gain happens during the holiday season. So you have to brace yourself for gaining weight from Thanksgiving, going into Christmas, going into New Year's celebration. And it is hard. It is hard because the Thanksgiving time frame is right at the end of November, and you're already gearing up for the Christmas time frame. And then during the course of December, there's a lot of things that tend to happen. It doesn't necessarily just happen on Christmas, right? People are already kind of like drinking eggnog and doing all these things in the lead up to Christmas itself. Then, we have people that celebrate Christmas on different days based off of the potential for or nationality, or where you've come from, right? If you come from different countries, they celebrate it in slightly different days. But then if you live in the United States but your family origin is from a different country, you might celebrate that country's or like original Christmas day, but also celebrate your Christmas day here in the United States. But then people celebrate Christmas Eve as well as Christmas Day. And then there's also different Christmas kind of things that people do to get together. They do like little what was the Kris Kringle stuff where they meet up with family. They do this at work as well. So there's a Christmas meal at work, but that Christmas meal is not your Christmas meal that you're actually going to be consuming, because that is going to be at home. Same thing happens with Thanksgiving. There's people's potential birthdays that you're celebrating during that time frame as well. And then you go into the New Year's, and then during the New Year's, which is on the 31st, New Year's Eve, there's a celebration time period as well. This is what makes the end of the year super difficult for so many people, and makes January 1st the New Year's resolution day, because a lot of that is driven by the fact that you've gained so much weight from November to December 31st. So it is tough. It is tough. With all of that, also, even though they're just those small days, your brain starts playing tricks on you. It's like, well, since I'm going to eat again during the New Year's time, during the Christmas time, what's the point of really focusing on my weight loss until after? I should probably just focus on it until after December 31st. which in turn makes you gain even more weight, because now you're basically just not paying attention to it for roughly around a month until you hit January 1st. So what can you do, right? There have been studies on this, right? This is the BMJ, the effectiveness of brief behavioral interventions to prevent weight gain over the Christmas holiday period, a randomized controlled trial. So now what they looked at here is like things you can do to prevent weight gain, right? Do not, under any circumstance, sacrifice the non-celebratory days simply because the celebratory days exist. So if you are not celebrating anything on the 20th of December, for example, don't go, well, since on the 24th and 25th, there's going to be a party and I'm going to overeat. I don't care about overeating today. If you do that, you will gain weight, because then your mind is going to be okay with doing that on the 19th. It's going to be okay with doing that on the 17th, on the 15th, on the 14th. There's going to be things around you like eggnog, and the whole holiday spirit is going to be around you. People are going to be bringing you stuff, work, etc. So whenever you can mitigate the damage, please mitigate the damage. If it is unnecessary, like meaning it ain't a work celebration thing, it ain't an actual family gathering celebration thing, please try to manage what you're eating. This can mitigate the damage and help prevent weight gain during the holiday season, which is, of course, again, not easy to do. I completely understand that. This is where most of the weight gain happens throughout the year. That's how powerful this is. But you can still help mitigate that weight loss or the weight gain by ensuring that on non-celebratory days, you do your normal regimen. Do your normal regimen, whatever's keeping you at your weight or whatever you're doing that's helping you lose weight, keep doing that. Another big one is stay active. Stay active. If you do not stay active and you just throw the activity out the window because it is Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to combat the actual overeating that's happening on the 24th, on the 25th, on Thanksgiving, during the New Year's, during the celebrations at work, extra celebratory days that people are throwing in there so families can have their day in their homes, and then you have another day. It's going to be very difficult if you don't remain active. So please, please, please remain active. That's going to definitely help combat the weight, the calories coming in with actual exercise, activity, thermogenesis to push those calories, as much of those calories as you can, out. Granted, 90% of your weight loss is eating, right? Is the actual consumption of calories as opposed to the exercise, activity, thermogenesis, which is releasing calories from activity. But still, it helps. You're at a better position than somebody who doesn't do any activity. And then, of course, if you put on top of that, controlling how you're eating outside of those celebratory days, then you can definitely have the upper hand as opposed to somebody who's just going in there and just doing whatever because it's the holiday season. And then finally, on the celebratory days, and this one might annoy some people, but on the celebratory days, you don't have to go crazy just because, right? Don't do it just because. If you set up one plate for yourself, you don't have to set up 2 or 3 because everybody else is doing it. You don't have to grab every single item of food that you can grab to put on your plate so you can taste every single thing. If you want to taste every single thing, just take one little piece of everything. And then you do it like that, like it's like a little tasting on your plate where it's all these different items. If you want like a full meal that, you know, it encompasses a good amount of something and a good amount of something else, then choose the 1, 2, 3 things that you want on your plate, and don't put every single thing on your plate for the 24th, the 25th, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day. Like, control it. Control how much you eat when you're actually celebrating these holiday days, and ensure that, you know, you aren't even necessarily overeating during these times, right? You could also make sure that the only time you do eat during these celebratory days are the times when you're doing the celebration, right? So essentially fasting until those moments, so that at least when you get there, you've not consumed so much calories already, or you don't have a calorie consumption that has happened, and then you're adding to it with, you know, these celebratory meals. All right, so hopefully this has helped you guys. I know it's gonna be a little bit tough, right? Because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Again, most weight has been gained during this time frame for most people, not just Americans, as we saw in that study. It shows it for people in Japan, shows it for people in Germany as well. It is not the easiest time frame. This little sprint to the end of the year is super tough for weight loss or retaining weight loss. But I know you can do it. And we have studies that show that it can be done, right? So just focus on those 3 things, and hopefully you can get to the other side. And when you hit January 1st, day of, you don't necessarily feel like you have to go into this New Year's resolution. However, granted, if you are overweight, you can mitigate as much damage as possible. But then you can go ahead and use January 1st as a starting point, because you've just come out of the more difficult time frame for weight gain, and now you can start off fresh. So January 1st does still have its merits, because you are at least out of the you're out of the woods, right? You're out of the danger zone, and you can focus on trying to lose weight in a more consistent way. All right, anyways, until the next one, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.